Hello and welcome to my painting video. In this video I'll be painting a Raptoryx of the game Warcry. Or as I like to call them, battle chickens. I mean, look at that. That's a chicken. These are actually the last models I need to paint of my Warcry starter set. Because my Chaos Furies were a bit dark and red, I wanted these models to look a bit more vibrant. Let me show you how I did that. As you can see, I primed the model with Wraithbone. I am loving how this white base coat is bringing out all the colors. For the base coat, I'm using Ushabti Bone as the basis of my chicken flesh. I washed the main body heavily with Reikland Fleshshade. This works really well with Ushabti Bone. Next, I'll use Flayed One Flesh to highlight the skin. Try to hit the bigger areas and avoid the little pock marks. For the last step, I use Bloodletter Glaze to give the flesh a reddish tint. I used a bit too much here, so try to use it sparingly. The main body is looking a little boring now, but I'll fix that with some vibrant feathers. I'm using Sotek Green to base coat the feathers. I'm going for a turquoise color on the feathers. To give the feathers some depth, I'll wash them with Nuln Oil. To highlight the feathers, it's quicker to use a dry brush technique. The first dry brush is Sotek Green. The second dry brush is Templar Green. This color really pops, so dry brush heavily. I'm going to dry brush the feathers one more time. This time I'm using Templar Green again, but mixed with a little white scar. I like this color for the feathers. You can alternate with different colors, but I might keep them a bit uniform myself. The feathers in the middle will be painted green with Ork Flesh. Because the feathers are not very visible, I'll be giving them only one highlight, that of Skarsnik Green. A light dry brush is all you need. Let's get some more vibrant colors in the mix. Base coat the frill, tongue and the eyes with pink Horde. Now I use the contrast paint Volupus Pink to give some shading to the areas and change the color a bit. Use pink Horde to bring back a bit of the original color and make a natural highlight. Repeat the last step, but now add a bit of white scar to the pink Horde. This is turning into a very colorful battle chicken. Now to paint all the smaller details. Before this step, I recommend you fix any mistakes again with Wraithbone. Base coat the beak and legs with Iyanden Yellow contrast paint. Use Ushabti Bone to highlight the beaks and legs. As an additional highlight, you can use white scar. This is starting to look a little bit more like a chicken, now is it? I'm going to paint a couple of small things now. The first thing is the wrapping around the legs. I use Skeleton Horde for this. Next, I will base coat the claws, horns and several other small details with Black Templar contrast paint. This is a very quick step, but all these small details are perfect to paint really quickly with contrast paints. You can also choose to paint all the horns and claws with Skeleton Horde, but I personally like the variety. Why a wild animal has piercings is up for grabs, but yeah, they have to be painted. I use Leadbelcher for this. You can alternatively use Balthazar Gold if you want to give them gold rings. Wash the rings with Nuln Oil or Agrax Earthshade. Lastly, I highlight the rings with Stormhost Silver. This was an interesting model to paint. At first I didn't really care for the model, unlike the Furies, but with this color scheme they look very cool on the board. You can experiment with different colors of feathers, but I like this combination. So beware of the battle chicken, and thanks for watching.